Welcome to the Other Star franchise, the anti-fascist Star Wars podcast where a couple of Trekkies from the Star Trek fandom discuss Star Wars. We are watching the Star Wars shows, movies, and animation in chronological order, leading up to the release of The Mandalorian and Grogu movie later this year. Today we are discussing episodes of The Clone Wars which take place in 21 BBY. I'm Fatheree, this is Taylor.
Hello.
Taylor, are you ready to get back to talking some Star Wars?
It's gonna be a little clunky, I think, to get back into Star Wars.
Is it gonna be clunky or McClunky? You know that
No,
reference?
But we've been eating and breathing and Star Trek from the cruise and stuff, so it's gonna I feel a little bit jarred going back to Star Wars.
Well, for those of you watching live on YouTube, I guess this will be a no camera show going forward, but that's okay. We don't really do a lot of
only on the Tuesday.
Yeah,
on Fridays.
But it's not Tuesday; it's Monday.
Oh,
what we're planning on doing though with Other Star franchise going forward though is we're going to try to do these shows a little bit more consistently for those that watch on YouTube. We're going to be doing these on Tuesday and Friday nights, and we're thinking it'll be 9 p.m. Central. So but yeah, we've been working our way through the Star Wars timeline in chronological order, and then discussing it here on our show, The Other Star franchise. We are currently discussing a lot of Season 3 of The Clone Wars. Most of these episodes that we're going to talk about today. We have 11 episodes of The Clone Wars to discuss. I should, for people who are watching instead of just listening, I'll put our spreadsheet on screen. You can look at that. But for everyone else, I'll go ahead and list off the episodes that we are discussing today. So, last time we were live talking Star Wars on the Other Star franchise. Remember the last episode we discussed, Taylor?
Oh, man.
It was R2 Comes Home,
Hunters?
right? It was it was part of that Bounty Hunters arc with Aurora Singh and R2-D2. Or I guess it was Lethal Trackdown.
Okay.
But that was right after R2 Come Home.
Okay.
So the 11 episodes we're discussing today, if you're watching Star Wars in chronological order, if you're watching The Clone Wars in chronological order, we're actually finishing off the year 21 BBY. We're starting with Season 3, Episode 5, Corruption. And we're watching in chronological order all the way down to Senate Murders, the Season 2 episodes. So we're starting with Season 3, Episode 5. We're ending with Season 2, Episode 15. There's that famous George Lucas tell your story in the wrong order technique.
I know, but we do finally get to cross Season 1 off our list.
And Season 2. We have now finished both Season 1 and Season 2.
Nice.
Because our last Season 2 episode that we hadn't watched previously was Senate Murders, and our last Season 1 episode we hadn't watched previously was Hostage Crisis, Season 1, Episode 22. So we'll be discussing all of those. And the good news is that going forward, The Clone Wars gets a lot more linear if you are trying to watch chronologically. Seasons 1 and 2, and then the first half of Season 3 is the difficult part. After this, it is pretty easy. There's just a little bit of oddness in Season 4 and then Season 7. I'm sorry, Season 5. It's like the first episode of Season 5 is supposed to be in the middle, and then in the final season, there's 3 arcs, but it's like the second arc is supposed to be first before the first arc. But that's Season 7 stuff. We're talking about Season 3 mostly, so... we are going to start off with these first 2 episodes. They're both an arc set on Mandalore. We just met Duchess Satine, and the Clone Wars take on the Mandalorians. All of that stuff just got introduced to us. in I think the last round of episodes we discussed right before we went on vacation on the Star Trek cruise. Oh yeah, like our cats are very active. You're gonna hear some animal noises on this show because we don't want to edit them out. We want to include their voices. Their voices have been silenced too much. We edit them out of our Star Trek podcasts, so we'll let them be heard here with Star Wars. But with corruption in the Academy, Taylor, these are Season 3, Episode 5 and Season 3, Episode 6. When we do these, do you want to read the synopsis and I'll read the fortune cookie moral of the episode, or should we do it the other way around?
Yeah, I just am having a little bit of a I can't see problem.
Because of the microphone?
Yeah. Okay, so for Corruption, which is Season 3, Episode 5, the synopsis is, Padme, on a diplomatic mission to Mandalore, guarantees the pacifist planet the Republic's full protection, but she and Duchess Satine soon find something sinister lurking beneath the planet's serene facade. Mugen, am I saying that right?
Yeah, Mugen smugglers
have been sneaking in supplies, including bottled tea destined for the Mandalorian schools. To increase their profits, they have been diluting the tea with a hazardous chemical.
And the moral of the episode is, the challenge of hope is to overcome corruption. So, yeah, I guess, like, the challenge of hope can be to do a lot of things. Like, I feel like hope can, there's a lot of challenges that hope can help overcome, but I guess corruption can be one of them. Pretty straightforward. I think this episode, I like it more in context with the next episode, The Academy. But basically, the Prime Minister we met on Mandalore, Almec, he is bringing in these smugglers. He's bringing in this black market because he felt like that would benefit the people of Mandalore to get, like, hey, here's, like, a lot of, like, cheap products and stuff. I guess, like, the war was, like, driving the cost of everything up. Season 3, Episode 6, The Academy, they bring in Ahsoka to Mandalore, and she helps some of the Mandalorian youths learn some lessons in holding your government accountable and trying to be aware of corruption. But that's why I like these stories more if you look at the second episode too, because it shows, like, oh, the corruption is it's more of a top-down problem. It's more like the corrupt people up top. Mm-hmm. But if you want to read the synopsis on that one.
Sure. Season 3, Episode 6, The Academy. Ahsoka is assigned as a teacher at the Cadet Academy. Oh, sorry, our cat is going crazy. Ahsoka is assigned as a teacher at the Cadet Academy on Mandalore while covertly investigating the corruption inside Satine's administration. Soon after she arrives, Satine's zealous nephew, Corky, and his classmates uncover a nefarious plot.
Corky is interesting. You brought up something when we were watching this, but Satine has a little nephew named Corky. He's like,
I was like, oh, cool, we got a new character model for Ahsoka. She's grown up a bit. And then it was like,
no, that wasn't, that was it on the Rexus planet.
Oh, was it? I'm mixing them up. Never mind, guys. I have more thoughts on the Rexus episode.
The thing we were thinking about Corky is that...
who's his parent?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Satine has this nephew, but later in the show, spoilers for anything but Skeleton Crew, because we haven't seen Skeleton Crew yet, but we could talk about anything else. Eventually, we're going to meet Bo-Katan, who is Duchess Satine's sister, but... we don't think Bo is Corky's mom, right? Like, they never talk about her having any kid.
Yeah, I don't think she's a mom yet.
They must also have a brother or sister who is this guy's parent, I would assume.
Or is he, like, Satine's friend, and that's, like, her quote-quote nephew, Like nephew by friendship.
So you think Satine has a...
But she could have another
She has, like, a secret gay wife.
Okay, that's not what I was saying.
And this is her nephew?
No, like, if Lisa and Mav had a kid, like, that would be my niece or nephew or kid by, like, best friendship association. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Like how Cole's kid calls me Uncle Steven?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. It'd be weird if I went around introducing him as my nephew.
I think it's more likely there's a secret sibling that we just don't know about yet.
Yeah. Or when the series creators invent Bo-Katan, they forgot that they had made Quirky, and then they just never felt like dealing with it.
Or maybe it's her... Oh, wait, no, because Satine isn't married. I was going to say, it could be her partner's side.
Could Satine have been married and then divorced at some point, maybe?
That could be it. I don't know. We just have a question mark over who is the technical parents of Corky.
So the episode Corruption, the tea that is being smuggled in, it's such a weird story for Star Wars, but it's like, oh yeah, like a lot of kids like to drink this one brand of tea at school, and they all get poisoned by it because it was brought into Mandalore by smugglers who, they weren't trying to poison it, they were just trying to dilute it and stretch it out, but the chemicals they used to dilute it were off, and they ended up poisoning a bunch of kids.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked up.
But I like that they show that the black market is the fault of Mandalore's Prime Minister, Almec, and that it's not just like these dock workers trying to make some extra cash, and that's why everything is terrible. There's a little bit more to it. Again, it's just kind of such weird stories to me as like an old school Star Wars fan who, you know, we used to come up with all these stories about Mandalorians in the old days, and then here in Clone Wars, when we finally see Mandalore, and it's like, hey, it's not a bunch of Boba Fetts running around fighting each other. Instead, it's like these kids that look like they're in Finland or Norway getting poison tea at school, and corrupt politics, and I don't know, just and a pacifist duchess, but I guess this is just laying the groundwork for the more exciting Mandalorian stuff to come later. Taylor's nodding in agreement, but no one can see her nod.
Oh, okay. I don't have more thoughts. I really liked Padme and Satine working together. It passed the Bechdel test immediately, like first convo, which is good. But I also like them like working out political things together. Like they both are very strong at their roles, and so it's cool to see that. And also them getting into the action of confronting the... I don't even know would you say they were the dock guys who had the bottles? Like when Satine and Padme were out there with the police or whatever, like hunting down whoever is distributing the bottles. But they're like, nice shooting for a senator. And I was like, nice shooting for anyone. God.
You know, I'm starting to like Clone Wars Padme a little bit. I often say that I don't really like her as a character because I can't forgive her for marrying Anakin after he confesses to mass murdering a village of people in Attack of the Clones. But just looking at the Clone Wars, I guess I do kind of like her, because like when I heard that, I was like, hey, show some respect. That's Luke and Leia's mom. So, but yeah, she's like an action senator. She does all this political stuff, but then she also like goes, shoots blasters and runs around, has to hide from returning fire. And we get to see a lot of action senator Padme, I guess, in these episodes, like the next one, Assassin, where there's an assassination attempt against her, and we also see a lot of Alderaan. I don't know if you have anything else to say about Corruption or the Academy. I guess I thought you might have like some thoughts on Ahsoka's role in the Academy. You see her kind of mentoring some other children.
Yeah, probably not wise. She's still like a kid herself. It's kind of funny they just let her loose out there. I do like that she emboldens people. Like we see her, I think, a couple more times in the over this 11 episodes we're talking about, where she's kind of inspiring people in some ways, and that's pretty good. I don't know. I feel like it just like she was barely in it. Like she kind of like incites them, but then like she doesn't really like go with them a lot. I don't know. Like I don't know what I'm trying to say.
It's interesting here that, like, Ahsoka seems to be very aware of, like, you have to be very vigilant to make sure, people in your government aren't corrupt. But then, like, later, she seems, like, so naive when we get to, like, the Senate episodes and Anakin's having to explain.
Because corruption can happen outside of their little perfect Coruscant, but she doesn't believe that there's corruption. Or maybe she does, but...
It's just like the corrupt Mandalore, but like back home on Coruscant, we have like a perfect system to run the galaxy.
But then she learns more and more, like especially with Padme. Like we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Well, let's talk about the episode Assassin, because that is very Padme and Ahsoka together.
Yes.
If you want
Space
to
Mom.
recap that one.
Sure. Season 3, Episode 7, Assassin. Having volunteered to protect Padme during a political mission to Alderaan, Ahsoka is plagued by recurring visions of the presumed dead bounty hunter Aura Singh assassinating the senator.
And the moral of the episode is, the future has many paths, choose wisely.
I like this episode a lot. Like, when I think of the Clone Wars, like, this is one of the first ones I think of for some reason. But I liked Ahsoka, like, having the silly Jedi visions that I always make fun of.
Right, you got mad when Yoda was seeing that the temple was going to be under attack.
Yeah, I was like, that's silly. But anyway, I liked her worrying so much about Padme. I definitely think that she knows Padme and Anakin are a thing. Or she assumes. Like, I think she's kind of figured it out. Like, she's not obvious.
Yeah, like, I don't think they know that they're married. But there's a couple people who have suspicions, and they're probably, like, we've been talking about this. I think they're just, like, scared to poke it. They're like, okay, I could understand why if they were doing that, they would want to keep it very secret. I better not say anything.
Right. And I think, I think it's cool that Ahsoka cares about Padme, like, as a person and not just, like, a senator. And I definitely think that's more of, like, the association of, like, oh, well, this is my master's, like, girlfriend? Secret wife?
But you pointed out to me, there's, like, that moment when she's talking about Anakin to Padme, and she says something like, you know, you and Master Skywalker have a lot more in common than you would think. Or, like, she says something like that, and you were saying, like, oh, look, she's fishing. She's trying to, like, open the door for Padme to say something or confirm something.
I was thinking she was like, hey, if you want to talk about it, like, we can. Like, I think Ahsoka's a girl's girl, you know? Like, I think she's down to be like, hey, I'm cool with it. I just want you to be my space mom. Like, you know?
And we learned that Aurora Singh didn't die previously in Lethal Trackdown when the Slave One went down, which...
We knew that.
We knew that because we know that the Slave One... Like, what I said at the time was, like, anyone who's seen The Empire Strikes Back knows the Slave One will fly again. But I guess we didn't know how she would come. She just says, like, oh, Hondo pulled me out of the wreckage. So she had Hondo so obedient and whipped that he knew, like, oh, no, if she crashed and I don't go rescue her... If she does somehow get out, she's gonna give me shit about it for the rest of my life. So I better go and risk life and limb to go save her. Mm-hmm. Is what I think happened.
But yeah, I like the assassin stuff with Ahsoka, and like it's cool too that like in this story where we have Padme and Ahsoka, like our assassin like is also a lady.
Oh yeah, it is so very ladies focused,
female-centric episode.
And they're on Leia's homeworld. It's Alderaan too, so it's kind of like you're seeing the environment Leia will grow up. You even hear Leia's theme. Oh. We get to see a lot of Bail Organa here, and he's one of the people who also, I think it's safe to say, I think he knows there's something going on between Anakin and Padme, because you know that comes up in Hostage Crisis.
Well,
with
he
the
gets
lightsaber.
a kid out of it, so...
yeah, he's gonna end up raising their kids, so... do you want to move on to ARC Troopers?
Let's go.
So this is the one I was really looking forward to, but the Battle of Camino, this is when, like, the Separatists go and attack the clones' homeworld, and attack their clone facility. Taylor, if you'd like to recap the episode...
General Grievous and Ventress's separatist forces launch a major attack on the Republic cloning facilities on Camino, with Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Jedi Master Shaak Ti and the 501st defending it.
And the moral of this episode is fighting a war tests a soldier's skills, defending his home tests a soldier's heart.
I like the squid robots in this one.
Yeah, those things are cool.
Design. I like them like having. I thought that the strategy of Grievous in the atmosphere and like letting the Jedi people in the 501st like shoot parts of his ship off and act as debris to fall into the water, and then the people in the water like put together like the fake debris to make a ship. Like, that was all really good strategy and interesting.
Yeah, so if you're doing, like, a war show, and you're gonna do episodes that are very, action-centric, but more importantly, you're telling the story of the war, you're showing these key battles, and, we've had 2 battles of Geonosis, where the Jedi and the clones go to attack the droid factories, so it only makes sense that eventually the Separatists would retaliate by attacking the cloning facility on Kamino. But for the clones, it is such a personal battle. It's like, they don't really have a homeworld in a traditional sense, because they don't really have, traditional, homes and lives and stuff. It's just like, well, this just happens to be the planet that you're engineered on.
Technically born. I mean, not born.
Yeah, they are born there, but you get what I'm saying? Like, it's not like, that's someone's, hometown, where, they grew up and went to high school, and they have all these memories and attachments to that community.
Right.
It's just, it is so messed up that, me describing that stuff, it just reminds us of all the things they're denied by the Republic. But
I kind of disagree with you, though. I kind of feel like they do have things that tie them to community. Like, they have, 99 as, their... And,
right.
the Kaminoans themselves...
They have developed, their own, clone culture.
Right.
And they're, clone society is a thing.
Yeah, and, they're, little baby cadets, and make their little squads. They have to still grow up there together. So I think that it does make sense that they would have, a loyalty to that planet, even though I get what you're saying, they're not technically from that planet.
But that's the closest thing they have to being from somewhere.
Yeah.
Even if it's that's just the place where we were engineered and then trained and all that stuff. But yeah, when you see the clone kids, when they pop out of those pods shooting droids, it's oh yeah, that's so that's a perfect visual of these clones. It's they're born and they're given a blaster and they're pointed at some droids and they're told to go out there and shoot. And that's your entire existence.
Yeah.
It is kind of a sad thing to see, but there's also a nobility that they fight so valiantly. And yeah, seeing 99 die, I knew that was going to be sad. I couldn't remember exactly who killed him, and it turns out it's just a rando battle droid.
Yeah.
But I remember Ventress getting a lot of action in this episode, and I was wait, it's not Ventress who kills 99s, is it? Because I was so worried about that, knowing that, in the Bad Batch, Ventress shows back up, and the Bad Batchers kind of team up with her for a little bit, or at least for, one episode.
Yeah. She does kill other clones, though.
Yeah, but, 99 is the mascot of the Bad Batch.
True.
He's the reason why they call their team 9. Is what Clone Task Force 99 or it's something 99.
Yeah, okay.
They're he's their hero.
Okay.
So it would have been very bizarre if they could
forgive her for that.
His so yeah, I'm glad it was just some dumb Roger.
One of my beefs though, cuz I think this is I don't know for sure, but I think this is the last episode ish of Ventress being an assassin for Dooku.
Right. And the next time we see her, she gets fired.
Right, I think it is her last mission. But you know what I don't like, now that we've been watching all this, and I really like Ventress, especially in the later seasons of Clone Wars, but I don't like that she's constantly failing at all of these things. I kind of wish that there were some Clone Wars episodes where Ventress wins and it shows her as more formidable, because every time she shows up it seems her and Grievous, they both get their ass whooped.
Yeah, and that's actually why they created those tactical droids. They wanted to have, we can have tactical droids, can be the Separatist boss that loses, and then we don't have to make Grievous and Ventress look stupid all the time, but I guess it still comes off that way. Yeah. Well, I don't know, I feel that she still kicks a lot of ass here. Like when this one of the most violent deaths we've seen in Star Wars so far, but the I think it's the ARC Trooper Colt who Fives and Echo like looked up to when we saw them in the Clone Cadets episode. When they were like, oh man, like the ARC Troopers are so cool. I want to be an ARC Trooper someday. And they become ARC Troopers in this episode, but I think it's after Colt gets killed by Ventress when she's like, what is she levitating him with? Like she's like force choking him in the air, but then also kisses him, but also stabs him with the lightsaber.
Yeah, that was a little much.
But she's very flirty with Obi-Wan. I guess like she's flirty with a lot of her opponents.
I guess.
But yeah, kind of disturbing.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if that was, like, the most gruesome. I feel like there's been some pretty gruesome deaths in Clone Wars. Actually, I was really surprised watching this week.
Well, they actually didn't air that on Cartoon Network.
Oh, really?
And then when they put the episode on Netflix, they added that back in.
Oh, dang. I didn't know that. Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of violent deaths in Clone Wars, honestly. Like, more than I remember watching the first time or second time around. I think maybe I'm just a little bit more sensitive now to, like, character deaths and, like, unnecessary deaths and stuff. But there's a lot. I mean, obviously, we're in the wars, but it's pretty crazy. Like, even in, like, the Senate, no one's safe.
But I love seeing the variety of clones and ARC Troopers, and I love that, like, when they're doing these battle episodes, and you can kind of follow the tactics. Like, like, okay, why are those ships shooting that way? Why are these soldiers going... Like, you understand what's going on, who's winning, who's losing. The Aqua droids were cool. They look pretty formidable. Like, I was like, man, like, why even have, like, the standard B1 battle droid? Just put these Aqua droids on land. I guess when it shows them on land, they're actually, like, moving kind of slow, but they were a little bit closer to a super battle droid than a regular battle droid.
Yeah.
And Grievous, I often call Grievous my least favorite character in the Star Wars universe. I just think he's so ridiculous. I think he's such like a Saturday morning cartoon villain with no dimensionality. And I think he's just a ridiculous looking character design. And I so try hard to be like, I'm just going to spin around 4 different lightsabers with my robot arms. And like, I don't know, it just looks like something like a 12-year-old would come up with.
I like the crazy lightsaber arms, so it worked on me.
Well, I guess if I had been like a little kid when Grievous came out, I would have felt differently. But I was too old and thought it was too stupid. I say all that to say this. I wanted to like Grievous in this episode. There's like just like shots of him kind of just, marching around with his droid army following him, and he looked like a cool, worthy opponent for the Jedi and the clones, and he has like kind of like this rivalry with Obi-Wan that eventually comes to an end in Revenge of the Sith. And I was kind of on board Grievous in this episode until he was scurrying around on all fours like a dumb little robot cockroach near the end of the battle. I'm like, yes, that's dumb Grievous stuff. You ruined it, Grievous. I was almost liking you. And Anakin and Ventress have a big lightsaber fight in this episode because they have to maintain that Anakin and Grievous can't meet each other.
Right. Oh, also Obi-Wan is in this a little bit, and he flies on a manta ray a couple times, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, one of those. We see one of those animals in Attack of the Clones. You see a Kaminoan like ride on one of those like out of the water and into the sky. Mm-hmm. But yeah, they have they have Obi-Wan on one of those here.
Yeah.
And Fives and Echo, I guess we should say they get promoted to ARC Troopers. So.
I don't even know if that's worth being excited about. If you like see like you're like, oh, your ARC Trooper boss died. Congratulations, you've been promoted. It's like, oh, kind of like those droids. Do you remember that you were like, oh, this one is the commander, and it's like, oh shoot, am I the commander now? And then he gets killed.
Yeah, I think about that scene all the time. Like, shoot him, he's the commander. I guess I'm the commander now. Yeah. But we see that happen to the clones and make jokes. I mean, we see that happen to the droids and make jokes about it, like, oh, this droid got killed, go replace him, and then you get killed. But yeah, this is basically going to happen to Fives and Echo. I mean, Fives, neither one of these guys has a very good life. Like, Fives is going to uncover a conspiracy and realize they've fought this entire war for no reason, and then be shot dead by one of his brothers. And Echo is going to be tortured and then made into a cyborg.
Yeah, and then become one of 5 dads to a clone little girl.
Yeah. So, the tragedy of the Clone Wars, like all of these, there's not a lot of happy endings in this show if you game it out to all of their conclusions. Like, there's not many happy endings. No Jedi character in this show gets a happy ending, and I don't really think any of the clones do either. Nor the Separatist. No one really, like, Palpatine, I guess, is the only victor of the Clone Wars.
Yeah, because he's playing both sides.
Well, let's talk about Season 3, Episode 4, Sphere of Influence.
Alright, so... Chairman... Oh boy.
Papa Noida.
Chairman Papa Noidas.
Is Blue George Lucas. The character is based on Blue George... based on the George Lucas cameo in Revenge of the Sith. So.
Got it. Well, his family is kidnapped and held for ransom. Ahsoka must team up with the senator from Pantora, Ryo Chuchi, to aid the new chairman in recovering his family before the Trade Federation can unduly influence the future of his planet.
And the moral of the episode is a child stolen is a hope lost.
Okay, I have a couple thoughts already about that moral. Because one, both of his kids are actually adults. So I would say that I mean, I guess it's his child. So okay, never mind. I'll backtrack.
They're young adults. They still have like a big life ahead of them, you would think.
But also, a child stolen is a hope lost. That just keeps coming back to my ick of the Jedi people taking babies and raising babies as Jedi and stealing them from their planet.
But they don't steal babies. Like...
Okay, but they take babies. Maybe it's consensual-ish from the parents.
No, it definitely is. It's like a canonical thing in Star Wars. Like, you choose to send your kid to the Jedi.
Yeah, but what if that kid doesn't want to be a Jedi? You're just going to let them
won't go. They don't have to go.
Well, they take them when they're babies.
Well, yeah, I guess, like,
they don't know.
Yeah, I mean, and we don't... They like might not necessarily... Yeah, I don't know. I guess they say that Anakin was way too old, but I guess we don't know what the normal, like, cap is, like...
Babies.
We don't... We don't want them after 3 years old or 2 years old.
Do you remember, like, that's when Cad Bane was, like, kidnapping all the Jedi babies or whatever? I think that's, like, the age that the Jedi go around, like, oh, we feel that your child is force sensitive.
It's crazy that people do give up their babies like that.
I know,
but
it's
I guess,
crazy.
I guess people have so much reverence for the Jedi.
Anyways, back to this episode where Blue George Lucas, his kids get abducted.
His kids are blue versions of his kids.
Yeah.
Because he has, I'm trying to think of their names. Katie is the one who's a writer on this show, right? Katie Lucas?
That sounds right.
And then, I think it's Amanda Lucas is the one who was an MMA fighter.
I don't know.
And then his son, Jet Lucas, is the Papa Noida's son, who's helping him find the 2 captured daughters.
Did they all voice these characters, or they just played them?
None of them voiced any
action?
Of them. But I think the only one who played one was Amanda Lucas.
Okay.
She's a blue woman in Revenge of the Sith. Jet is a Jedi youngling who gets shot at the temple. They all have cameos in there, but I think Amanda Lucas or Katie Lucas, the one who's the writer.
Okay.
And I think he has a 4th kid now with his new wife, but
I don't know.
This would have been before that. So.
I do like having Chuchi back. We saw her being kind of weak in that one episode and gaining some confidence. Where
it's cool for Ahsoka to have like a Senate friend.
Yeah, and not just Padme.
Yeah. She has relationships outside of like Anakin and the clones and the Jedi. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I'm sorry. I'm in this episode. Like, there's two daughters that get kidnapped, and one of them is at the Trade Federation, and the other one is somewhere else, and I'm forgetting where they find her.
Oh yeah, they had them separated.
Yeah, but I can't.
But
did Dooku have one? Why am I thinking that? I don't remember where the other one was, but I know that there was like two teams that like went out to go find the kids. It was kind of a complex episode for just 25 minutes. Like, they kind of handled that pretty well.
They give Papanoida a lot of screen time. Like, I feel like the writers and animators, they just thought it'd be fun. Like, oh yeah, let's like have our boss, George Lucas, like be like this action hero. He like, goes into this bar and then gets like in this gunfight and shoots down all these guys. And I don't know, it's Blue George Lucas action hero.
Yeah. I think that's all I've got on that one.
Yeah, I guess, Sphere of Influence, and also, it had some Cynic characters that I was like, oh, wait, who is this person again? We haven't been properly introduced, because we're watching this in chronological order, not release order. But,
Is it the detective?
The detective guy, yeah, Devo, he is like the Star Wars Coruscant Columbo. He kind of annoys me. He's always like, real like smug and doesn't really seem to be that brilliant to, like he doesn't seem to like really like have like the cool like detective. Sherlock Holmes moment of like let me explain it to you, like
he's more of like a condescending asshole.
Yeah.
Who actually doesn't solve anything. And
but they make him look and sound like Columbo, the TV detective.
I've never seen that.
It was a very popular show about a detective named Columbo who kind of looked and acted like a bumbling idiot, but at the end of the episode he would be like, oh, just one more thing, and then he would explain like, well, I know that you're the killer because of blah 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 blah, and you get like that cool Sherlock Holmes moment.
Okay.
And it's kind of like, because he acts like a goofball,
people open up to him. And,
right, they think he's harmless, but he's actually really smart.
Strategy.
So,
but like, this guy doesn't have strategy.
Yeah, Devo is just a jerk, but we get more of him coming up in his actual first appearance. But enough about Sphere of Influences. Let's move on to Season 3, Episode 8, Evil Plans.
While on an important shopping trip on Coruscant, C-3PO and R2-D2 are kidnapped by the sinister bounty hunter Cad Bane in the dastardly plot to free Ziro the Hutt.
And the moral of the episode is, a failure in planning is a plan for failure.
I almost couldn't read the summary. I was already laughing.
You're laughing at Cad Bane?
I was laughing
Ziro,
at all of it.
Dastardly plot?
On a shopping trip on Coruscant. C-3PO and R2-D2 are on a shopping mission. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, they're having to go get fruit for the cake.
For the senator party or
Padme's
whatever.
banquet dinner. Yeah, that's an exciting war story that the kids are dying to watch on Cartoon Network, I'm sure. Yeah, there sounds like a lot of Jedi versus droid action in that one. Evil plans. What a great use of a cool character like Cad Bane.
Right.
What's the funny thing about this episode is that deep into production on it, Dave Filoni made them redesign the cake. He didn't think it looked extravagant enough.
Oh.
So that's kind of funny to picture him as almost being like a bridezilla, kind of like this is not good enough for Padme's banquet. Like he's like the C-3PO. Like he's like you don't understand. Her senatorial banquet has to be perfect.
Yeah. That's funny.
That's the kind of attitude that gets you in charge of all of Lucasfilm, apparently.
Yeah.
But, it's a dumb comedic episode. You get a lot of C-3PO and R2-D2 slapstick humor.
Well, and their torture, which is kind of hard to watch.
3PO gets tortured while R2-D2 goes to the droid spa.
Yeah, that was pretty effed up.
But yeah, this was like a big prequel to the Season 1 finale hostage crisis when Cad Bane was originally introduced when he frees Ziro the Hutt. So I guess they ended Season 1 on this episode of freeing Ziro the Hutt that we're about to talk about. And then they went all of Season 2 without doing anything about it. And then like in Season 3, the writers are like, okay, let's finally circle back to Ziro the Hutt and take care of him. And I guess they were like, man, we went all of season 2 without using him. I guess we don't really like him, so let's wrap up his story for good.
I mean,
and this is part of that.
Yeah, they could have just abandoned it completely. I would have been fine with that too.
But this gives us the Hutt Council, like the Hutt Gangster Council, and there's the one Hutt, Marlowe, who looks like Marlon Brando from The Godfather. And,
okay.
They basically it was honestly like it's kind of Epstein. It's like oh, we have Ziro the Hutt in prison, but he knows he's connected to all of us. He knows all of our secrets. Mm-hmm. We need to go take him out. Yeah. Now, I guess they go and they spring them and bring them back instead of killing them immediately. But yeah, so this whole plot was Cad Bane preparing to go obtain Ziro the Hutt from Republic custody. I guess like that moral, a failure in planning is a plan for failure. A lot of people just say that as how do people say it? Fail to plan is planning to fail? I don't know.
That sounds, yeah. But also, like, is that an attack on Padme for, like, not remembering to get the fruit?
I think it's more of a compliment of Cad Bane about, like, this is the reason why his heist works so well in Hostage Crisis, is because he was preparing for it in evil plans. Let's talk about Hostage Crisis. I'm ready if you're ready.
Okay. In an attempt to force the release of the crime lord Ziro the Hutt from prison, bounty hunters seize control of the Senate building and hold members of the Senate hostage. Cad Bane, the leader of the operation, with the help of bounty hunters Aura Singh, issues his demands to Chancellor Palpatine, who has no choice but to meet his request. Unbeknownst to the hunters, Anakin is loose in the Senate building.
So this is kind of Star Wars does Die Hard, right? Oh, I forgot the moral. The moral of the episode is, a secret shared is a trust formed. Again, that could also be taken to be very, like, Epstein-y. Like, hey, other billionaires, let's all, like, torture these kids together, and then we know we can keep each other's secrets.
But this is also the one where Anakin lends Padme his lightsaber.
Yeah, so...
A secret shared is a trust formed. I don't know if that really counts. Well, no.
But there's... Padme almost shares
with
the
Bale.
secret with Organa, yeah, right. Because she has Anakin's lightsaber, and she's like, hey, look, I know that we're being hostages right now, but I have a Jedi's lightsaber. Like, she won't say who it is, but, like, a lot of these people are pretty smart. Like, he figures it out. Like, he knows.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Honestly, this episode was just okay. I don't really...
The Die Hard thing, what I'm talking about is, like, in the movie Die Hard, Bruce Willis is this cop who he's at his ex-wife's company party, and he doesn't have a gun, he doesn't have any shoes, he's running around like this building barefoot because these terrorists have taken over the building, and he's trying to, like, free the hostages, like his wife and the other people who work there are all taken hostage.
Oh, wow.
And so this is very much, it's
That's just, like, straight up the same as this episode.
Yeah, I mean, well, Anakin has his shoes on, but he doesn't have his lightsaber.
Crazy.
So,
he's allowed to keep his shoes.
But it really, like, this was the first episode Cad Bane was ever shown in, even though, like, we've seen him in all this other stuff. Mm-hmm. And part of me kind of wishes this was his first chronological Clone Wars episode, because it's got to be so weird to Palpatine when, okay, this bounty hunter breaks into the Senate building, takes the Senate hostage, and then tells the Chancellor of the Galaxy, like, hey, I got your senators held hostage, I'm trying to free this one prisoner, Ziro the Hutt, so just do this, and then I'll let all you go about your day. And Palpatine's like, motherfucker, I'm trying to take over the galaxy right now, and exterminate the Jedi and secure my authoritarian control over everyone, but I'm having to deal with the guy who I just hired a couple months ago to kidnap babies for me, Cad Bane. It's like Palpatine's already, like, worked with Cad Bane. Yeah. Like, it would have been cooler if this is how Cad Bane got on Palpatine's radar and is like, that's impressive. I'm actually going to hire you for some stuff. But instead, it's like, God damn, like, why are you doing this now? Are you working for the Hutts now? Like, man, like...
Yeah, it's confusing.
So, It's also weird to me that Cad Bane had commando droids. But I looked into that, and apparently, like, there's not a good explanation of why Separatist commando droids were working with Cad Bane in this episode, other than it's possible that, like, he bought them or reprogrammed them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like, he doesn't really work with commando droids often, so just kind of weird.
Huh.
I feel like when they first made this episode, they didn't... Because, way back when they did Season 1, they didn't have the Evil Plans episode of Season 3, where you see, like, the Hutts are working together to spring Ziro.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe originally they were thinking, like, it would be kind of a separatist operation to get them for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But regardless, Cad Bane does successfully free Ziro the Hutt. And Anakin did, like, a lot of like, action-y things in the Senate building. I like that when he's fighting that IG-88 style assassin droid, and Anakin has the blaster rifle, but then the droid bends it, and but again, all very Die Hard. It's very, very Die Hard stuff.
Again, I haven't seen Die Hard, so this is my Die Hard, I guess.
Yeah, I know that's blasphemous, like, that I haven't shown Taylor Die Hard, but, like, I'm kind of, like, just burnt out on cop movies, perhaps permanently. Even though that's, like, one I grew up on. I might circle. I guess I've also watched it a lot. Like, a lot of people love to watch it at Christmas time.
Yeah,
like,
I always hear it's a Christmas movie.
Yeah, I've seen it so many times.
I don't care. It's not on my to watch list, so I'll just watch Hostage Crisis and get a 24-minute short version that is on a special interest. It's like fanfic.
But it also has Ziro the Hutt in it. So, What are your favorite characters? We should also say that we think Ziro the Hutt is a terrible, lame character.
First of all... Okay, wait, how do I phrase this? I can't believe... Wait, hold on, wait. In this next one, is that the big one?
Hunt for Ziro?
Where he...
Yeah, this is the final Ziro the Hutt episode.
Okay, yeah, sorry, I didn't know if I don't want to jump too far ahead.
Yeah, we can go ahead and move into it.
He's, like, obviously... queer-coded.
Yeah.
This character, Ziro, I mean, obnoxious also.
When I saw the Clone Wars movie in the theater way back in 2008, I was like, oh, well, I never knew Jabba the Hutt had a gay uncle, but
right.
I do now.
And, like, they didn't have to do anything. Like, they could have just, like, left it be, and then what the hell? Okay, I don't want to jump ahead, but then, like...
Let's jump ahead. Let's talk about Hunt for Ziro.
Yeah, I'm ready to talk about it, apparently.
Season 3, Episode 9.
Due to his possession of incriminating information, Ziro the Hutt is placed under the custody of the Hutt Council. When Cad Bane is sent to hunt down Ziro, he learns that Jedi Masters Obi-Wan and Quinlan Vos are searching for Ziro too.
And the moral of the episode is... love comes in all shapes and sizes.
And why would you include that with a queer-coded character and then make them straight on screen with the weird, like, designed alien that doesn't make sense with the other weirdly designed alien?
Sly Noodles. Or Sly Snoodles, whatever her name. She's a character from Return of the Jedi, though. She's part of the Max Rebo bit. I was like, oh, that's an old school original trilogy character I knew about when I was a little kid. Yay.
Yeah. Anyway, that was gross.
But love comes in all shapes and sizes.
Yeah.
And it's kind of weird to make that the moral of the episode and then kind of treat them as a joke. You
know?
Like...
And also weird to balk at, like, this, like, very stereotypical character you've created, I guess. But also, like, that... Like, when they, like, kiss, I was so grossed out. I was like, ugh. Like, her nose is her mouth, and, like, it's just too much. Like, and they make all these, like, mwah, mwah, mwah.
Oh, yeah, it is very...
so weird.
Very, very wet
It was so
kisses.
wet. It was horrible. Yeah.
Well, no, Hutta, the Hutt
Oh my
homeworld.
gosh, and, like...
They go to the swamp planet.
And we meet Grandma Hutt.
Oh, yeah, Mama the Hutt.
Also horrible.
Mama the Hutt is Jabba's grandma, right? Because if you're Ziro's mom and Ziro is Jabba's uncle, I think that's the implication there. Is that so?
Yeah.
So in the Clone Wars, you get to meet Jabba the Hutt's grandma, Mama the Hutt,
and boy, you don't want to. I didn't need to see that. And I don't understand. It just looks like that house smells bad.
Well,
and
we know it smells bad because when Quinlan Voss goes there...
Oh, that's right.
and
he does. He covers his nose. He's
he's
like,
all like gagging.
Obi-Wan is like keeping a straight face because he's a fucking professional.
Yeah, she gets so many visitors. She gets her ungrateful son, Ziro, shows up. And then Cad Bane shows up, and then Quinlan Voss and Obi-Wan Kenobi show up. This is our first Quinlan Voss. I mean, you see him briefly, blink and you miss it in The Phantom Menace, but other than that, this is our first time seeing him.
But yeah, this was not on my bingo card whenever I was like, oh yeah, I really want more Star Wars.
You also said, like, you thought it might have been transphobic to have, like, a man's voice on Mama the Hutt, but I looked into that. It's actually, like, a woman's voice. It was, like, a woman in the southern accent, and then they distorted it to make it less, like, super deep, like Jabba. But Ziro and Mama are, like, the only two Hutts that ever speak basic, that ever speak English. Like, normally Hutts speak Huttese, the Hutt language.
They should have stuck with that.
So, yeah, and it's weird to me that they have, like, these southern, like, Louis... Like, I always thought kind of Ziro kind of seemed like a New Orleans gangster. Like,
sure.
He kind of seemed like he's like a gay mobster from New Orleans. But then you go to Nal Hutta and you're like, oh, they're all in the swamp. And Mama the Hutt has, like, this Louisiana accent, too. And it's like they're swamp people. They're swamp Hutts.
It is too much for me. Does that mean that they're, like, leeches? Like,
they're slugs.
Oh, they're slugs. Okay. This is new information to me. That is a very big slug.
And then those creatures that are on them to be like their hair, there's just like creatures that they like live on them. But like, you know how Mama the Hutt, she had like the Marge Simpson hair? She had like that big stack of hair?
Sure.
But that was just like these creatures like stacked on top of her head.
Poor things.
So the Hutts decorate themselves with these animals. But yeah, what do you think of Quinlan Voss and Obi-Wan? I always love their dynamic. How they're so.
I like how Quinlan Voss is he's such a cool dude. Like, he's like a surfer bro. Like,
yeah, he's a surfer bro Jedi.
Yeah, and like I like that Obi-Wan is like kind of uptight, you know.
Yeah, very formal.
Yeah, and them kind of being teamed up, I feel like Obi-Wan almost has this, like, temptation to loosen up a little bit. And also to do really well. Because he wants to show up and be better than Quinlan Voss, I think.
Yeah,
he has, like... There's, like, a little bit of a competition.
There's a bit of a friendship there, too.
Yeah,
they're kind of like work friends. Like, yeah, we don't work together a lot, but, like, when we do, we get along.
Yeah, they get along. I just mean, like, I think there's, like, friendly competition between them. Like, who's gonna jump the highest?
Yeah, there's, like, that one part where, like, they jump down and kind of, like, lower themselves down. And it's, like, an impressive jump, but you're like, oh, like, they're both trying to show off, but make it look like it's just a casual thing that we do, but it's, like... But, like, Quinlan is thinking, like, man, like, I gotta look as cool as Obi-Wan, and Obi-Wan's thinking, like, I gotta look as cool as Quinlan, and, like, yeah, like, it kind of be, like, show-off Jedi bros together. But, you know, we know from, like, the book we've read, Dark Disciple, and some other stuff, that, like, they do end up, you know, working together a lot, Obi-Wan and Quinlan Voss. There is a relationship there that is sometimes explored in Star Wars. And Joel in the live audience is saying Ziro's voice was supposed to be Truman Capote's, as Lucas wanted for some reason. And yeah, I always thought he sounded a little Capote also.
I've read the book that Capote... What the hell is that book called? Where he covers the murders in Kansas and then he falls in love with one of the killers.
Yeah.
I remember reading that book. But I've actually never heard Truman Capote speak out loud. I also think... I've heard rumors that he's a ghostwriter in Cold Blood. Thanks, Joel. He's a ghostwriter. I wanted to say now I'm going to stop because I don't want to say the wrong person. But I've heard that he's like ghost wrote some really popular books for his like cousin or niece or something.
Yeah, I think that's right. But yeah.
But yeah, I actually don't know why you would I don't know what the significance of him being represented in Star Wars as a voice. Like, why would Lucas want that? Is, I guess, what I don't understand.
That's just what he wanted. He wanted Jabba the Hutt's uncle to sound like that.
I guess.
Let's move on to Season 3, Episode 10, Heroes on Both Sides.
Okay. When the Senate begins debate on a bill that would eliminate government oversight of the banking clan's activities, Padme and Ahsoka travel in secret to the capital of the Confederacy of Independent Systems in an attempt to forge a peace agreement with the Separatists. However, after both the Republic and Separatists agree to have a peace conference, Dooku orders General Grievous to dispatch a group of droids to launch a terrorist attack on Coruscant, resulting in a failure of peace.
And the moral of the episode is fear is a great motivator.
Yes. This episode frustrated me. I liked Ahsoka and Padme scurrying out of, like, the Republic territory and going to the Separatist territory. This is the episode where we get an Ahsoka age up.
Right, there's a new character model for Ahsoka. Oh, by the way, we should point out that when we went back to watch the Season 1 episode Hostage Crisis, after seeing all the Season 3 stuff, we were like, oh man, like the animation quality in Season 3 does look noticeably way better than Season 1.
It's way more fluid with, like, the walking and action stuff too.
And then, yeah, here we get, like, this updated character model of Ahsoka that does look like a little bit old. Like, she's
like a preteen or a teenager.
Yeah, like, she looks more closer to, like, 16 than 13.
Yeah. And I had beef with this a little bit because I was so excited to see her grow up. And then, like, it was like, here's a boy. And, like, they talked about... It was, like, so awkward. I was like, okay. like, it just seemed like, hey, we have to, like, make people notice that Ahsoka's growing up. How do we do that? Oh, we'll put a boy in there and ask her, like, relationship questions. But I did really like Ahsoka and Padme going to the Separatist planet, I guess, and, like, getting this fresh perspective of Padme's old friend. And Ahsoka was so out of line so many times. Like, she kept saying stuff and I'd be like, Ahsoka, you can't say that. And, like, even Padme did that to her, like, a couple times. She was like, Ahsoka, stop. Like, it was so funny. Like, she's so it's good to see her, like, rigid in her mindset, because that shows her character growth, like, over time, like, where she starts understanding a little bit, you know, or not, like, her enemy, but she's like starting to see, like, there's more complexity in this than she
even
originally
though
assumed.
she was already explaining, like, the greatest enemies to a society come from within, and that you must always be vigilant to watch for corruption. Even though she was already explaining that to some kids previously.
But this is, like, classic, like, growing up propaganda. Like, she's been in this, like, Jedi Council with the Republic, like, her whole life.
Yeah, it's good to see her see, like, oh, the Separatists aren't all evil. Like all my Jedi masters led me to believe.
And it's so much like in Avatar: The Last Airbender, and also, like, America Today. But in, like, the Avatar show where, like, the Fire Nation is, like, the, quote, bad guy, you know? And then, like, they're all kind of, like, indoctrined and propaganda or whatever. And, like, Zuko has, like, his whole speech about how the Fire Nation is the enemy and how, like, humiliating that is because everyone's scared of them and whatever. So I think it's good that we're getting that already in Season 3. Like,
but I do like whenever we get to see, like, Ahsoka, like, be a kid or do kid things, and so I kind of do like, it's like, oh yeah, like, she is growing up and she does want to be, like, a girl who's admired by, like, a boy her same age, and so, like, she does kind of like, oh, hey, look, I'm a Jedi. We're not so bad. Like, once you see us, right? Like, she like,
she's playful.
Yeah, like, I kind of like seeing her get to do that side of life like a normal kid, and because she has to, like, be a soldier fighting a war so often.
Yeah, well, and that's also why I liked her kind of, like, saying these crazy things, because that's such a kid thing to do, you know, where you just, like, say what you think. And you're like, oh, you're a separatist? Like, when she said that, I was like, ah! Oh, it was really funny.
What is the name of Padme's separatist friend? Bonfreddy or Monfreddy or whatever?
The woman?
Yeah, she ends up, being killed in these episodes. That ties in the next episode, Season 3, Episode 11, Pursuit of Peace, when they're trying to stop the vote to deregulate the banks before they try to stop the vote to order more clones.
Well, in
a lot of Senate politics.
In the heroes on both sides, they were trying to get the peace treaty to talk together, to negotiate peace, like by having a representative from each party come together. Which ends up getting scrapped because General Grievous launches that attack. Yeah, and it disrupts the peace accord that they'd agreed on.
So I used to give these types of episodes a lot of shit in Clone Wars. It's like, man, everyone hated the Senate politics in the prequels. Why would you keep doing that in your animated show that's spun off of those movies?
And technically marketed to kids, also. So,
yeah.
Sorry,
I mean, if you ask George Lucas, all of Star Wars was made for kids, even though he wrote things about like trade route blockades.
I know, but that's what I'm saying is these are so politically dense. Yeah. Like, I don't know. Like, honestly, sometimes I feel like I don't even know what's going on half the time, and I have to like rewatch it and be like, oh, okay. And I think it's actually, I get more of it now.
Well, yeah, I like the idea of, like, hey, we're trying to, like, stop the war. There's, like, assholes on both sides that are trying to maintain hostilities.
Right.
Like, that's there's a lot of, like, real-world conflicts that are like that, where...
Right, they're capitalizing off of the war.
Yeah, and, like, the other fun thing in these episods is seeing the Kaminoan senator, and how she's always pushing for the most, like, hawkish votes, because that's, like, more money for more clones. You know, like, Kamino is getting rich off of this war.
Yeah.
And I feel like that is such a great symbolic representation of, like, the real-life military contractors. Like, you know who's making a lot of money off of the genocide in Gaza and the war in Iran right now? But, like, military defense contractors, like Lockheed Martin and Boeing, and people who make airplanes and bombs, and it's really gross. So it's kind of cool that like Star Wars was aware of that and was trying to show that stuff, even if it's not always the most exciting stories, I think. But that's cool now that it's like, oh yeah, well, Star Wars was always kind of commenting on that.
Yeah. It's super relevant.
And it reminds me of Star Trek 6, speaking about Star Trek and kind of the stuff that we spend so much time talking about. But in Star Trek 6, they have the Federation and Klingon peace talks, but at the same time, there are hawks on both sides that secretly work together to try to maintain hostilities. And we see a lot of that type of stuff here. Let's talk about the next... I guess, like, the last thing I should add about Raxus is that, like, we saw Dooku go to this planet. When, like, Dooku and Mace Windu went on that mission.
Oh, yeah.
Way back in the Tales of the Jedi stuff we were watching before The Phantom Menace. So, it was cool to see Dooku already kind of fall in love with this planet and decide, like, okay, that's going to be the capital of my political movement. Mm-hmm. But the next episode that is more about pushing to stop the banks and the Republic getting a loan to buy more clones, but Pursuit of Peace.
Senators Padme Amidala, Bail Organa, and Anaconda Farr push against a new bill in the Senate to buy new clones for the Republic, but someone does not like their opposition and tries to dissuade them. I would say dissuade is a little light here.
The moral is truth can strike down the specter of fear. I think that kind of parallels the moral for the last episode, Heroes on Both Sides, which was fear is a great motivator. Now we have truth can strike down the specter of fear. I guess we have senators that are being bullied into voting to deregulate the banks. The banking clan says that if the Republic will get rid of some of the regulations, they would be able to issue a loan at 25% interest that would allow the Republic to buy the clones they need to win the war.
This episode is low-key boring. Like, I think I maybe fell asleep in this episode, not gonna lie.
You did fall asleep during Padme's speech.
Oh yeah, that was rough. I was like, okay, she gives too many speeches. Like, the last, 10 episodes, she's given, at least 10. I think 1 per episode where she's on her soapbox. But, this one, I feel like not a whole lot. Like, it's a lot of talking in this episode. And a lot of, like pawns moving on the chessboard kind of. I think it leads up better for like the next episode, the Senate murders. But it's kind of funny because like those are out of order.
Right.
And so like it's almost interesting because now I'm like, it would be weird to be watching this like as a release order, because I feel like Pursuit of Peace would be that much more boring if you didn't go right into the Senate murders, which is like basically Pursuit of Peace is like the prequel.
But a lot of people, if they're watching this in release order, by the time they get to Pursuit of Peace, they probably can't remember what people were voting on in Senate murders.
This actually, hilariously, the very, very, very first time I ever watched the Clone Wars all the way through, this was the episode that I was like, what the hell? Wasn't Anaconda murdered? Like, and I was like really confused. I was like, I thought we already dealt with this in a previous season. And that was when I learned, I Googled it, and I was like, why is Anaconda alive in this episode, but he died earlier? And that's when I learned that they were releasing out of chronological order.
Yeah.
And that made me so pissed off. I was like, oh my god. And that was when I was like, I'm going to have to watch this someday in chronological order, because I never did until now, but but I was so irritated by that. And the only reason I remembered is because I remembered Anaconda. Because that's like Padme's uncle, and I thought that was weird. So, his whole arc is kind of odd. But anyways, that kind of leads into Senate murders, where Anaconda dies. And, like, I feel like that's very memorable. Because that's like Padme's uncle. And remember he was in that Jar Jar episode?
Yeah. We've seen him a couple times, I guess just recently with a lot of these Senate episodes. And also, the Umbara senator, Dichi, dies in Senate murders, and we see him a lot. And that's what I'm saying. Like, he's kind of like Devo in Sphere of Influence. It's like we see Dichi, like the tall, skinny guy with like, looks like he has like black makeup around his eyes. But I think that might just be how Umbarans look. But it's like, man, like, who is this guy again? Why is he talking? We haven't been introduced to him yet. But, okay, the explanation for him is actually in Senate murders. If we want to go ahead and talk about Senate murders. But, yeah, in Pursuit of Peace, they get the loan to buy more clones. And then, like, in Senate murders, they actually vote to buy the clones or not. I guess, like, they didn't get the loan. Like, I don't know. Like, they
see, that's what I'm saying. It's a
like
bad episode.
Well, I don't know if it's bad.
It's unclear.
I don't know if it's unclear,
dense.
but it might be boring.
Yeah.
But in Senate murders, if you want to recap that one.
Sure. Senator Anaconda Farr is poisoned. Gasp. And Padme teams up with Bail Organa to unmask the culprit, who turns out to be a fellow senator.
And the moral is, searching for the truth is easy, accepting the truth is hard. I don't know if searching for the truth is easy.
I disagree with that.
Sometimes those can both be hard.
Dude, people died while searching for truth in this episode.
Yeah,
so you're saying that death is easy? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, so they are trying to stop the war, slow down the war, give diplomacy a chance. There's a few senators, Padme and Anaconda Farr, the Rodian uncle, who is poisoned and killed. They're both I guess Mon Mothma also is pushing for peace.
Yeah, Bail.
They don't want all these more clones from Kamino, and then the Kaminoan senator is like, yes, buy the clones, and then the Umbara senator is like, yes, buy the clones for some reason. He's the Umbaran senator. The reason why I keep mentioning him so much is because one of my favorite arcs in the Clone Wars is when they go to Umbara. His people join the Separatist after he dies. So I guess this is what triggers them to change sides.
Yeah.
And then, like, the clones that have to fight on Umbara, like, are, like, put through utter hell, and it's kind of... Yeah, we were just talking about Clone Wars doing Die Hard, when we get to the Umbara episodes, it's basically Clone Wars does Apocalypse Now, and it's really grim and really dark, and I love it. So,
well, I think the Senate Murders episode is a really good whodunit. Like, I think they have a really good, what do you call that, like, red herrings?
Yeah.
And, I mean, I kind of remembered what happened, but I still was kind of like, oh, yeah.
I forgot that it was the other Rhodey and Lolo until, like, the very end, and then I remembered.
I remembered when she left the room. Like, it was, like, 3/4 of the way through, and she's like, well, I'm leaving on my own. And they're like, no, don't, you could be hurt. I was like, oh, she's not worried because she's the killer.
She was basically, she poisoned Anaconda because she thought he was too weak of a pacifist. He wasn't pushing for peace hard enough.
I thought she was mad. She kept saying because of his past. Like, his past issues or something. Like, it was kind of vague, but I think that they were kind of, like, hinting back to when he, like, kidnapped Padme. I was like, I think that's the worst thing he's done. But yeah, I thought that episode was pretty riveting. And there's no Jedis solving that case, you know? They, like, the senators are dealing with their own shit, which is kind of cool to see them do.
And Inspector Devo.
Yeah, well, he didn't help out very much. He was just there for, like, oh, thanks for figuring it out for me.
And he brings those cop droids for security purposes, so
totally.
I guess that was kind of useful. There's like this one point where he says, even if they were to get through my security, which they wouldn't, or, you know, he says something like that, and it's like, aren't these just, you know, automated droids? I really don't think you have anything to do with it, bro. Yeah. But like we were saying, like he's kind of stuck up.
Yeah.
Even though he doesn't do much.
Well, I'm excited to watch more. I'm excited because I think we're starting to get to the thick of what I like, which is going to be like the Night Witchers, the Night Sisters witches, whatever.
The
like,
Night Sisters, yeah.
Yeah, and but also like all the witchy stuff, and then like what is the stuff you hate with the dad and the kids? The
next 3 episodes we watch, Night Sisters, Monster, and Witches in the Mist. That's like the first Night Sisters arc. And then the next 3 episodes after that,
Mortis,
Overlords, Altar of Mortis, and Ghosts of Mortis. Yeah, that's the Mortis stuff that you really like, that I am not as big a fan of.
And we're going to get Maul back soon, and I can't wait.
Yeah. I mean, like, I think we're getting, like, his brother, Savage Opress, in, like, the next episode or 2. I think we're, like, 2
Monster, I think.
So we are actually going to stop streaming and go watch some more Clone Wars.
Yeah.
But I had a good time talking about these episodes with you. I think we're the second half of Clone Wars is better than the first half, and we're almost at the second half. We're at the part where like they start getting the out of order stories all the time. Start putting this shit in a linear order.
Yeah.
So that's exciting. I'm looking forward to watching some more Clone Wars right now. We can go turn on the TV and keep our chronological watch of Star Wars going.
Sure thing.
So we are off to do that. We are going to call it a night, but remember, the Empire is for bootlickers. I always say that wrong.
Bootlickers.
Remember, the Empire is for bootlickers. Be a rebel, and may the Force be with you.